Imagine sitting in the final round of a systems engineering interview. The whiteboard prompt is simple. How do you maximize a manufacturing facility's profit? According to Eli Goldratt's theory of constraints, operational success relies on moving three metrics simultaneously: increasing throughput, reducing inventory, and reducing operating expense. Most candidates fall into a predictable trap. They look at the factory floor and assume that to maximize profit, they need to balance capacity. They argue that every machine and every worker should be operating at near 100% utilization, so no time is wasted. But building a system where every workstation runs at equal maximum capacity is a mathematical failure. It guarantees missed deadlines and infinite work-in-process inventory. True operations engineering requires deconstructing the system to balance the flow of the product rather than the capacity of the machines. Traditional cost accounting pushes managers to eliminate idle time at every single workstation. That exact pursuit is what destroys a facility's actual profitability. To understand why balancing capacity fails, we have to look at two variables. The first is dependent events. This is a sequential production process where step B cannot start until step A finishes. The second variable is statistical fluctuation. Even highly automated processes have normal, unavoidable variance in processing times around an average mean. This timeline compares these two variables in action. Here, process A feeds process B. Both are perfectly balanced with an average processing time of 10 hours. But process A has a standard deviation of 2 hours, while process B is a constant 10 hours. When normal fluctuation causes process A to take 12 hours, process B is starved of inventory. It sits idle. That time is lost and cannot be made up. Later, process A might run fast and finish in 8 hours. But process B is capped at 10 hours. It cannot process the extra output, creating an immediate backlog of inventory between the two stations. Because lost time at a starved downstream machine can never be recovered, combining dependent events with statistical fluctuations means balancing capacities guarantees a collapse in system flow. If balancing capacity fails, the alternative is synchronous manufacturing. The core rule here is that you do not schedule the whole factory, you only schedule the system's constraint. Look at sequence A through G. Work center D is the bottleneck. Engineers manage this using drum buffer rope. The drum is the bottleneck, setting the system's pace. The buffer is inventory before D, ensuring it's never starved. The rope is communication, dictating when Work Center A releases materials. This architecture enforces Goldratt's rule regarding time valuation. An hour lost at the bottleneck is an hour lost for the whole system, while an hour saved at a non-bottleneck is an illusion that only adds to its idle time. Engineering this specific flow through the bottleneck is the only structural way to simultaneously increase throughput, reduce inventory, and lower operating expenses. The ultimate test of these mechanics in a systems engineering interview is scheduling a complex, multi-product, multi-routing manufacturing facility. This schematic presents three products, A, B, and C, competing across three shared work centers. They sell for $50, $75, and $60. Subtracting the raw material costs injected at various stages yields the gross profit per unit. A is $10, B $15, and C $10. A novice candidate will look at this and immediately prioritize maximum production of product B. It has the highest gross profit per unit, making it the seemingly obvious choice. Prioritizing raw unit margin in a constrained system is a critical operational error. Each product. For product A, Work Center Y takes 10 minutes. For product B, Work Center X takes 6 minutes, and for product C, Work Center Z takes 5 minutes. To find the true rate of money generation, divide gross profit by the limiting resources processing time. Product A yields $60 per hour. Product B yields $150 per hour, but product C yields a massive $240 per hour. The mathematically optimal schedule becomes clear. The facility must prioritize producing as much of product C as the market will take. Maximum total gross profit is only achieved by maximizing the rate of profit generation at the specific constraint. Conventional unit profit margins fail the moment they consume too much of the bottleneck's time. To defend this scheduling logic under scrutiny, a candidate must understand the mechanics of batch sizing and inventory valuation. There is a common misconception that transfer batches, the amount of product moved between stations, must be exactly equal to process batches, the total amount produced during one machine setup. In reality, process batches must be large at the bottleneck to avoid wasting critical time on machine setups, but they must be smaller at non-bottlenecks to prevent excess work in process inventory. Transfer batches can and should be smaller than process batches. Moving smaller quantities ensures smooth, continuous flow to downstream workstations without waiting for an entire run to finish. Traditional accounting views inventory on shelf as a positive asset. Constraint management views it as a liability, a loan given to the manufacturing unit that ties up cash. To measure this liability, operations uses the $days metric. $days measures the total value of inventory multiplied by the number of days it stays within a department. Treating inventory as a time-weighted liability forces every department to prioritize rapid system flow over isolated local efficiencies. In unconstrained environments, such as a localized job shop, you have to establish sequencing rules. The shortest operating time, or SOT, priority rule orders jobs from quickest to longest. Mathematically, SOT is superior for minimizing the mean flow time across a set of jobs, but the SOT rule has a critical flaw. In a dynamic shop where new, short orders constantly arrive, SOT risks permanently preempting and starving jobs with long processing times. When customer fairness and minimizing maximum lateness are the primary objectives, shops switch to the earliest due date, or EDD rule, ensuring long jobs are actually completed. Returning to the macro level, Goldratt established 5 steps for ongoing improvement. Step 1, identify the system constraints. Step 2 is to decide how to exploit that constraint. Step 3, subordinate everything else to that decision. Step 4, elevate the system constraint by adding capacity. And finally, if the constraint is broken, you repeat the cycle. The final verdict for the interview is clear: never balance capacity. By identifying the constraint and synchronizing the flow of the entire network to it, you achieve the mathematical path to maximizing enterprise value.